Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the API podcast. Last episode, we had my daughters, Sophie and Molly Harrison, but today we have the man, the myth, the legend, Devrim Van Dijk. Have I said that right?
Yes, you have. Hi, everyone.
Cool. It's a bit of a strange spelling. One of the OG Aussie players from Queenstown Worlds. He's coached and managed Aussie teams all around the world, and if you haven't heard him on the sideline shouting support for his team or throwing some banter at the opposition, then you're missing out. Oh, we'll get straight into it, mate. How's it going? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, sure. When did I start playing dodgeball? Many years ago now. 2011, 2012 maybe.
Yep.
Like you said, 2013 was the Queenstown Worlds, the first time I went to a World Championship, along with the rest of the Australian team at the time, and realised that dodgeball was a real thing and pretty awesome. So it all started from there. Since then, I stuck around, helped the ADF out here and there, did a bit of coaching, helped where I could, and it's been good more recently watching the young'uns take over and start to get stuff done. So I've had
definitely getting young, aren't they?
That's right. Good on them. More energy than me, that's for sure.
Just for some clarity, the Queenstown Worlds, where did Australia end up placed?
Oh, top 10, I reckon.
Top 10? Yeah, so below or above New Zealand?
Well below New Zealand.
Yeah, I think that's the only time it happened. Yeah.
Well, you absolutely smashed us, I remember. So well done.
Yeah. Only time. I remember after the Malaysia one in 2012 when you guys weren't even there. We came 6 out of 6, and we're at the pub afterwards, and some Aussie guy was like talking to them. We were like, we're here for dodgeball, right. And I was like, oh yeah, we came 6. And he goes, oh, where did Aussie come? And I was like, I think they came like 15th or 16th. So it made it like we're better than we are, But it's good. And and like I said, I didn't actually realize that we played against each other in 2012 when we comped. That was quite cool to see the old photos of we all had hair in different places with Nico and stuff with the set of hair on. And
they were good times, weren't they?
Yeah. It's amazing how much time's changed, and it's cool to see a few of us still going. But
it's pretty awesome sometimes to think back about how it used to be and how much it's grown.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah. Hard to compete these days, but we're going to have some API discussions. When was your first API, and how did you end up there?
Well, that's a good question. I suppose, how are we defining API? Because
Anzac weekend as well was.
It started as the old Anzac Cup, and I think I was there for was 2012 the first time we did that? Was that? Well, that became the Anzac, didn't it?
The Wellington one was we called it the Wellington Invitational, and then Sydney was the first time we called it Anzac.
Yeah, okay. Well, Sydney it was then. A while back now, but that was an awesome tournament. I think that was the first time I met Mark Benaldez.
Oh yeah, yep.
Who's this guy? Why is he better than me?
Yeah.
The old, I think Sydney, they used the 6-inch balls from there.
Yeah. I actually didn't go to the Sydney one because I had the choice of going to Sydney or going to Vegas, and I made the right call. Yeah.
Sydney was awesome, but Vegas was, How many times do you get to go play a world championship in Vegas?
Oh yeah, the Vegas was quite cool with that. The mall as well. We did that.
Yeah.
The worst part about that is because old Bill Fair organised it. Every other team, every person that came up and they're like, yeah, this is blah blah blah, this is blah blah. And they'll walk up and goes, and here comes the biggest creep at the mall, Simon Harrison. And I was like, what? I wasn't expecting to say that, and just kind of like.
I was at demonstration matches right in the middle of the mall.
Yeah. That would be quite cool to like a big just come up out the floor, raises up, bring us on out.
It was epic, yeah.
Right. If your dodgeball style was an animal, which animal would you be?
I've not been asked that before. Good question. I would say a goat.
Goat. Yeah.
They are stubborn. Cantankerous. They do whatever they want, and sometimes they climb a tree, and you're like, "How did you get up there?" I think that's sometimes how I play dodgeball.
Stubborn's definitely the right word on that one. Yeah.
Maybe opinionated is a better word.
Opinionated. Yeah. So, what's your dodgeball red flag? Something funny, like a bad catching or loud grunter, or?
For me, I am notoriously bad at defending my feet. I'd probably go a bit further than feet, maybe all legs as well. But
Yeah.
all of this up and down movement that the kids do these days, it's not for me. So
yeah, I still can't work out how those all the Malaysian players and stuff, how they can not jump up in the air and get their feet sort of above them and around them and sideways and stuff. Hey?
You see some of the pictures when they've just taken the shot at the right time, and you're like, "Geez, that's a long way off the ground."
I know. Yeah. No, it's hard to go. So, all right. Shall we move on to some court action?
All right.
What's the play or moment at API that stuck with you the most that you have seen, and then also the play or moment that you've been part of?
Oh, I reckon when I think API and memorable, I think it was the Christchurch API. I played with Rachel Dawson.
Rachel Dawson, yep.
And not a particular moment or anything, but that tournament she played the best I have ever seen her play.
Oh, yeah.
It was unreal. The number of times that it'd just be her in and she'd take like 3 catches or pull something out and win the set. So I suppose I was a little bit involved because I'm sure she caught me back in a few times. But
yeah. Yeah. Team, it's a team effort, eh? There's no point getting a catch if you're not bringing someone back in.
That's right. And then the other end of the spectrum is probably the API in Malaysia the other year, where I managed to injure myself, I think, in the first game. So spend the rest of the tournament on the sides.
What did you do?
That was a hamstring. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
It was.
I was too busy face planting in the concrete floor to notice anything else going.
Given how hot it ended up being, it wasn't. I wasn't too upset that I wasn't playing non-stop dodgeball.
Yeah. I mean, at least they had air conditioning for the spectators.
That's exactly right. Once I found that room with the aircon in, it was all good.
Yeah. You see, wasn't involved in a car crash or anything? You wouldn't.
I was not involved in a car crash.
Yeah.
That was quite the story. I was on Nick's team though, and we were always telling him to take it easy, but he refused.
Yeah, I was probably more worried for Brendan Beattie in his elbow. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, that was just horrific seeing the images of the
famous elbow.
Light graze, would you call it, or a?
I wouldn't even call it a graze, just light.
Just light.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, where do you most like to play on the court? And tell us a bit about your style of play.
I don't actually really mind where I play. Happy anywhere. I tend to play in the middle more than on the sides. I think you need a bit more energy to be on a wing these days. So
Kind of stand there and just flip feet.
Go in the middle. When you get hit out, you say, "Oh, there's no room to dodge." The whole team was still in. Even though they're just taking you out first because they know you're not going to dodge very well. But that's how I do it these days.
My actual memory of you play, apart from when we played together in Auckland, my memory is of you on the sideline just shouting abuse, pretty much. I don't actually have memories of you playing.
That is where I do my best work, actually.
Yeah,
on the side, suggesting, trying to inception some thoughts into the ref's head on maybe that players block them with their hands a little. Maybe did you hear 2 noises? I heard 2 noises.
Yeah. Funny.
And the occasional just yell out to the other side, watch that middle line just as they're about to throw. Also quite effective. So yeah, that's probably where I'm best suited is on the sideline.
I think me and you are sort of cut from the same cloth. There's like that. Even if it doesn't get close to you, shout out, finger blocking.
Really tilt people doing that. Although people tend to know that I'm taking the piss most of the time now, so it's not as effective.
But when it is effective, it's pretty effective.
It's very effective. But that's why I say I've been improving the mental resilience of the Australian dodgeball community. And it's
one person at a time.
Important job.
Yeah,
so you got to do it. I think the proudest I've ever been was in Canada to Toronto Worlds when Canadian home crowd, and someone was trying to get in. I think it was Claire's ear, and she turned around at them and said, "My coach talks shit better than you do." I was like, "Yeah,
Yes,
that's right. Heckle proof. They're heckle proof. They've just been putting up with me for a year at trainings. Every time they miss, yelling out, "Trash! What the hell was that?"
Have you ever seen that movie, Basketball?
Yeah, phenomenal movie. One of the best.
That's great. I reckon we should have the Dodgeball. While you're playing, you're allowed. Just people can walk around, just say something. I'd stand beside Andrew Ketchum and just say finger block, finger block, finger block. Eh?
Yeah, it would work too.
When we played him last year at API, that's our target was like abuse him and not abuse him, but right near him and just call him a cheek. And then he played like shit, barely got any of us out. But the rest of his teammates were like, "Man, I don't think I've faced so much heat or so many balls at once." They're like just targeting me because I was picking on his teammate. But
it's always good fun.
Oh, totally.
They must be more respectful overseas than we are in our.
I mean, that's like playing cloth and stuff. The weekend, the rule you can't. There's no banter allowed, eh?
Yeah, they crack down on that. Hey, yes, that's true. That was like the first time I played netball. I filled in for a team. It was like at uni, just a bunch of mates. But they call it intimidation.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to put people off as they're trying to take a shot, which
Yeah, I was quite stoked though over the weekend. I got a yellow card.
Well played.
Yeah.
In cloth or in foam?
No, just in cloth.
Nice. Yeah. Was it deserved or?
100% deserved. Yeah.
Good. Well done. Whoever the ref was, well done.
Yeah, that was Robert DeFabio. He even actually had a yellow card, like a legit yellow card. So
we need more willing to card people.
Yeah. Funny. Right. Who's been your hardest opponent and what makes them so tricky?
That's a fair question. I think Nico probably, just because he's been playing like longer than I have, and he's always been like a lot better than me. So it's it's been fun going through the dodgeball journey with him. Would have been nice to catch up to him at some point, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Probably when he got better with his left than I am with my right was when I realized that this is unlikely to happen. But
yeah, he's definitely and that's the thing I love about the sport. Like a player like Nico, I don't know how many times I've played him, but he's probably got me out 90% of the time he throws a ball at me. I don't know how many times I've got him out once that I can ever remember, and I celebrated like I just won lotto.
It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, I remember when he was starting, when we were both starting, and he was shit. I was just worse. Probably.
The player I'm now would still be worse than the player he was when he started.
Yeah, quite possibly.
And everyone gets better.
It's a testament to his training, I think, how much he's improved and how he's kept at the top of the game.
But I think the awesome about him is he just passes it all on. Like he came over to New Zealand and
exactly
and stuff like that. So
you look at the impact that he's had. He started the Demons. They're a massive club now that set the standard for a long time. It's in Victoria, but probably broader than that as well. It's a template other clubs have used, other states have used. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and it's also a sought after shirt at API. I was quite stoked to get one.
Nice, yeah, that is a sign of respect for sure.
Yeah, sweet. Moving on. Tell us about a time you pulled off something amazing or completely stuffed it up.
I actually quite enjoy pre-calling a catch that I'm about to make.
Yeah.
So, you stand there, the other team's lining up, and you just sort of ask quite loudly, "Hey, who's in after I take this catch?" And if you time it right, it's the best thing in the world. And it's actually happened a couple of times this year where, it's actually worked out. Someone's thrown at me just as I've said it, just said, "Hey, guys, you ready for this catch?" And then, boom, this catch.
Is it one of those things you say it 1,000 times and it comes at once?
Absolutely, yes. And that's the second half of it is, when it's wrong, it looks pretty dumb. But you gotta go through that to get to the gold.
That's when you want to be one of those players that records everything, and then all of a sudden you got your one highlight reel and you just don't.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do.
This is one of video. I did this for the first time ever.
I've seen a few of those where it's like, oh, this is our highlights from this round, and you're like, didn't you lose that match 15-0? But they've like strung together the hits they made. You're like, well done.
Well done, one play. I remember that one time I think I can't remember when it was. I saw you do the rush and you ran up and rather than pick it up, you just kicked the ball back.
Yeah, the kick rush. I'm a big fan of the kick rush.
Is that even allowed or still allowed? I'm
pretty sure it's not allowed.
Yeah. Because I remember I was like, I'm going to give that a go. And I ran up and I just kicked the ball forward. I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, that's definitely not allowed.
Yeah. So gave it all away from the rush.
I did enjoy I took quite a liberal interpretation of the rules once and brought it up in one of the refs meetings at a Worlds. But if you read the rules right, you're allowed to cross the middle line during the rush.
Yep.
And you have to take the ball over the activation line before it's active, right? Nowhere does it say you can't just pick up the ball and keep running in a straight line, cross the opponent's activation line, and then throw.
Yeah.
And I read the rule. I'm like, I can't see anything that says this is not allowed. They're like, no, of course it's not allowed. That's ridiculous. I'm like, I agree that it's ridiculous. I'm just saying the rules allow it. Like,
well, it doesn't say I can't do that. Yeah.
Also, if I pick a ball up and throw it and it passes the activation line on their side, it's technically past an activation line as well. So really, I think the rules need to be tightened up. And then they told me I wasn't allowed to ask any more questions.
Yeah. It's quite funny. It's quite cool when the rules sort of change to suit you. You know?
You want to be the problem. Like, that rule is written the way it is because of me.
Yeah. It's like I cracked up. We were playing against America in the first 2012 ones, and we never knew what a suicide was. And like so every time every other team must have been told to read the rules because you can suicide or something. So we got against the American team. We're like, what do we do? And we're like, next time they come charging at us, we'll just charge at them. So Chris Bell from America ran at us and just did that suicide. And I'm like, just ran up and just smoked him. Like, stood there, I'm like, and the refs are like, I don't know, is it out? Is it out? What's going on? No one knew what was going on. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So sorry, Chris Bell, if you're listening. Oh, sorry, Chris Bell, if you're listening. Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit of a laugh. That was. So what's your team vibe during high pressure games?
Oh, high pressure game. Well, I think like you said, I'm pretty loud. I like to heckle. If it's a serious high pressure game, then the vibe's usually pretty competitive. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think it depends on the game. It depends on the opposition. If you don't like them, it's different energy to if it's a high pressure game, but it's an opponent you respect and you like playing.
Yeah. All right. Any sneaky tactics or mental plays you've seen work? You talked about this before, didn't you? The old pre-call the catch.
Oh yeah, and it puts the idea in their head and they throw at you.
Yeah,
this works. The there's a few good ones. The old if there's a ball there's a ball stuck in no man's land and you kind of want to go and get it, but they're coming. You just put your hand up and say, "Wait," and they all stop, and then you just pick the ball up and hit them.
Yeah. I love it. That's my go-to way. The favorite tactic. And you see, and they're like, people know. They're like, you see, you doing it. They're like, get him, and they're like, what?
And then the one time you do actually need to stop playing, everyone no one listens to you. Play your card ball.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
If there's someone that's cheating, I like to ask them what life they're on.
On the weekend, more just banter. Like, when you're sort of playing cloth, there's a guy in the New South Wales team, and I went up to him and rubbed his foot. And I was like, "Can you feel my hand touching your foot?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." And then I got Michael Townsend over, and I was like, "Michael, look at this! I'm rubbing his foot. You can feel it." And this guy's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, you didn't feel the ball hit you from the last game. I was just seeing if you more just fully winding him up." But I realized that he just took it. He took it like as if I was actually calling him a cheat, but it's more just like, just a shit stare, Get in his head, but it didn't work, so we still got smoke. Oh, if Dodgeball had a walkout song, what would yours be?
Mine would be Sir Mix-a-Lot. I like big butts, I think.
You like big butts? Big butt man.
It's appropriate.
Yeah.
Got to give the people what they want, Simon.
You do. You do. I think this is this next question. Who's the biggest trash talker you've faced?
I'm yet to find someone that talks trash more than I do. You're actually probably close though, Simon. I'll say it to you. I'll say you're the biggest I've faced.
It's quite an honour.
Yeah. No, I don't just do that lightly, mate.
Yeah. It's quite funny. I read some of the questions you're answering, yet like the hand up and stuff. It's like I'm talking to a mirror. Yeah. Yeah. Funny. Who's the biggest height person in your team?
Well, it's me as well.
Yeah. Funny.
No false modesty here.
Right. We're moving off the court. Travel and chaos. What's the funniest or weirdest thing that's happened on your way to or from an API?
The thing that sticks out to me most was I think it was Christchurch. And we landed at like 5 a.m. After a like shitty overnight Jetstar flight where none of us had slept. And we get to our accommodation and we it's like this sort of bed and breakfasty place that's not open. And they're like, no, you can't come in here, you can't check in till like 2, but you can leave your luggage here if you want.
Yeah.
So we leave the luggage and we're like, what are we gonna do? And we look across the road and there's the Botanic Gardens.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're just wandering through the Botanic Gardens, fully sleep deprived, like trying to figure out what's going on. And there's like a river down the middle, and someone's like going past on a boat, and like someone threw a shoe, and there was all this weird stuff happening. we hadn't slept, and we didn't know what was happening. It was the strangest vibe ever. You probably more had to be there than I'm describing, but it was pretty hilarious. And then it all culminated when we walked past, and there was a giant tree, and this kid's just climbed all the way to the top of it, and he's just standing on the top. And we're like, what is going on? How did that kid get there? Where are his parents?
Yeah, we don't have kids and trees is quite common in Christchurch.
Yeah.
You can't find any look after them, you see them up a tree.
Good climbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any big off the court moments that have become team legends?
Off court moments. What was the last API in Sydney?
Yep.
So I was with the Gorillas. We were at one of the Airbnbs eating dinner, and they had the washing machine going. Because obviously, tournaments, you got to wash all your jerseys in between matches and everything. And there's this kind of clanking noise. Someone goes, I think it was Joel actually. He goes, it sounds like there's a spoon in your washing machine. And they're like, what? And I'm like, no. It's when you've got shorts that have got like the little metal bits at the ends of the drawstring.
Yeah. The strings, yeah.
I'm like, I've got shorts like that, and it makes a similar noise. It's definitely that. And then we just start giving Joel grief. We're like, how do you know what a fork? What a spoon in a washing machine sounds like? That's a very specific thing that you thought this was.
Yeah.
How can you possibly know what that sounds like? Do you wash your spoons in your washing machine? Giving Joel a script. He's like, no, I do not wash my spoons in my washing machine. It's that's what it sounds like. And eventually, it keeps like this clanging keeps going. Someone goes and has a look, and they're like, guys, there is a spoon in the washing machine.
So now you all know what a spoon sounds like.
Like, how is there a spoon in the washing machine right now? I wasn't actually staying at this house. I was at one of the other houses. So we're all just like, one of you has put a spoon in the washing machine. And we're immediately trying to figure out who it is, why they would do it. Why would you put a spoon? There's accusations flying left, right, and center. And eventually the washing is done and it comes out. And it was suddenly Yukari just goes bright red and just like puts her head down on the table. And we're all like, oh. I think Yukari's figured out who it is.
Yeah.
And it turned out she's been eating yogurt or something. And had like, during the tournament, and had put the spoon back in her dodgeball bag, and then it got back just as they were doing the washing.
Just threw it in.
And they had been like, quick, like get your clothes in if you want to get them washed. So she's like hurriedly just emptied her bag into the washing machine. The spoon's gone in with it. But this comes out after about an hour and a half of us all accusing each other of putting washing machines, like, you know, someone snuck in there and added a spoon for shits and giggles, or like, you know, someone broke in. It's been going on for hours basically, and then finally, yeah, Yukari came clean. So that was the legend. The legend of
like got herself a new nickname.
That's right, the washing machine bandit.
Yeah. funny. Who's someone that you've met at API that you never expected to connect with?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, you meet so many people at API. You meet so many people from Dodgeball in general that I don't know if there's anyone I've met specifically at an API that I wouldn't otherwise have met.
There's no rules about blending this into worlds if you want to just, you know.
I think the Valkyries as a club is an API story that I will remember. The just seeing the sheer amount of you know, the that Malaysian club v club vibe, and the Valkyries coming in. They've got their little cheer squad with their drums, and there's, you know, nearly a
that's right, Malaysia, eh?
Yes.
I
was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
it's quite funny because I remember that it was almost like, because you picked a side, and it was almost like sort of the Queensland versus New South Wales State of Origin. You know, one was the enemy, one was the you know.
That's
every time they did bad, you know, oh, boo, you know.
And then I was with Jimmy, and we sort of formed the view that the Valkyries were necessary. You know, you needed the team that everyone else hated. So we're on their side. These guys are the best. it's just us in the middle of their cheer squad, like, yeah, the Vals, and everyone's like, what are these guys doing?
There was a thing about Sydney, the Sydney final, Prime versus Braindead.
Yeah, mate, that was
I liked both teams. I was just like, I wanted both teams to win. I was just like, oh, you know, it's just
that was awesome, that match.
Yeah. Because I mean, if there's an Australian team in there, it's easy because, you know, as a New Zealander, we go for New Zealand and any team playing against Australia, but you know, there's no team in there. Yeah. Do you have any pre-game or post-game traditions?
Well, not really. I think the older I get, the more the pre-game tradition is actually stretching and trying to warm up properly, and the post-game is actually cooling down. But yeah, no, I don't have any particular traditions or you know, things that I do because I think they're lucky. I've never been good enough for it to matter, I think.
I'm sure you got a few post-game traditions that involve a few ales.
Yeah, well, absolutely, but that's business as usual, man.
It is. Yeah, always. You know, during the weekend we had a few mid-game shots going around the place. Yeah, sneaky fireballs.
Always the best.
Where are we? So API days are long. What's your go-to snack or meal?
That is kind of dependent on where you are, actually. I think one of the good things about API is that it's in so many different countries that you sort of have to adjust to where you are and what you like. But typically I'll go to a supermarket somewhere and stock up on some sort of variety of protein bar or, you know, granola bar and that sort of stuff, just to keep through and try to eat a large breakfast if I can. But yeah.
Well, yeah, you'd be a Weet-Bix man, wouldn't you? You'd Weet-Bix in Australia, don't you?
Yeah, Weet-Bix for sure.
Yeah.
And then for dinner in between matches, just, you know, if possible, just load up on a steak or something. Big juicy burger or
steak and some beers.
That's right. And then the carb loading through all of the beers for sure.
Yeah. What's your most memorable after party moment?
That's a good question. I remember I think it was the Sydney API. Was it the Sydney API where there was an Oz team that had concocted some game where every catch they took was a shot they could delegate? And like across the tournament,
you on that team,
and it hit some absurd number, and they decided that they were going to actually do it. And you know, Sydney at that stage was pretty like cracking down on its RSA and its responsible service of alcohol.
Yeah.
They've just gone in and demanded like 16 shots, and they're just like, your whole group has to leave right now.
Oh, I hate
that was pretty memorable. And then we're just wandering around trying to find a new place to get to.
Yeah. Who's the best or worst roommate to share with on trips?
Who I shared with? I very much enjoyed my most recent roommate, Josh Quintrell.
Yep.
Lovely guy. Didn't complain about my snoring. And we woke each other up with a rendition of Good Morning Pineapple, looking very sexy, very nice, which is a lovely song.
Yeah. Good Morning Pineapple, eh?
Yep.
Right. Why dodgeball? What got you into the sport and what keeps coming back?
What got me in? So, Josh and Jin, the godfathers of Australian dodgeball.
Yep. Josh D'Ambrosio, was it?
D'Ambrosio. So I went to uni with them. Josh went to Canada on exchange, I believe.
Yep.
Played dodgeball there and was like, this is pretty great. Came back to Australia, realized there was no real league. He's pretty entrepreneurially minded, so we thought he'd start one. And we all thought it was a great idea to day drink during the Sunday and then go and play dodgeball. And it was lots of fun. So that's how I got started. And then I think that Queenstown Worlds was when it was like, oh, this could be more than just a social run around. There's probably something to this. I remember thinking it was a pretty amazing spectator sport as well when you watch high level dodgeball. And
totally, yeah. Yeah,
we sort of got into it from there. We said, well, let's use these rules, let's use these balls, and see how far we can go. And it just sort of grew from there. So I've always enjoyed playing dodgeball. I like that it's accessible to lots of different shapes, sizes. If you're tall and big, you probably throw harder, probably easier to get out. If you're small and nimble, you're much harder to hit. And everywhere in between has got its strengths and weaknesses. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Same thoughts for me, eh? It's pretty cool how you can sort of, anyone, everyone can play it,
Yeah, it's and there's a big enough component of decision making that it's not the sort of thing that you hit a certain point and you go, oh well, I'm too old now, or you can still play around the edges.
Yeah. No, it's like, and you'll probably think the same thing. How much longer can I actually keep doing this?
Yeah.
But I'm just going to keep going until I can't, I think, but
I'll keep playing, enjoying it. I think the key is to make sure you're enjoying doing it. It's very easy to get sucked into this hyper competitive mindset. And, at the end of the day, it's not something that at this stage you can really make a living out of. So don't let it affect your day-to-day life too much. Make sure that it's adding to your mental health.
I just think if I stopped playing, man, I'd be so fat, eh?
Me too.
I'm a big boy as it is.
It's even just, you don't even have to be at the super high level to give you something to train towards, to give you a reason to go to the gym or go on a run, and I think it's important for that for me from that perspective too. Just gives me something a reason to keep training.
Yeah, out of the house and stuff. So
exactly.
Right.
Good.
How has playing at API changed you either on or off the court?
Well, it's definitely broadened my horizons on how much dodgeball there is across the world, the different styles there are. That's I think that's one of the things that outside of a tournament like Worlds, API was where you'd get that exposure to the different styles and the different ways of playing. It's real easy to get into your own sort of domestic environment and say this is how dodgeball is played, because teams tend to have a sort of way of playing that is your local area's way. I see it even in Australia, right? We play in Victoria and you sort of know all the teams and you know how they play, and there's a generally accepted way of doing things that most teams do. And then you go to New South Wales and it's different. You go, oh wow, like these throws are different. That's not how I'm used to it. And it's awesome. And then it's on another level when you then go play in New Zealand or go to Malaysia or go to Hong Kong, go to Singapore. I reckon that's something that API has been really good for. It's sort of, there's no correct way to play.
There's only one way to play, and it's chaos.
Chaos, 100%.
Yeah, and then you can tell off by your teammates. You idiot.
Funny. You can be chaotic and smart at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I haven't quite worked that part out yet.
You know, when
Maybe
you do,
when I
you
hit
get
50. Right. What's something fans don't realise about playing at API?
Our fans, the general punters, the non-players. Yep. I think this is more dodgeball in general, maybe than specific to API, but I think it's quite a unique sport in that other sports you don't really know your opponents and you don't really like them. I see people they'll play social, cricket or netball or soccer or whatever, but it's sort of you turn up with your team, you play the game, and then you leave.
Yeah.
You've done your thing. And dodgeball's done so well to keep this big community going where you know your opponents. If it's a new team that you haven't played before, you probably go and introduce yourself and say, hey, and ask them how they found it. And, you know the people and you stick around together. And these tournaments having these after parties, I don't know how common that is in other sports, that you'd have it doesn't matter how competitive the tournament is. It can be a world championship, it can be a local tournament, but people like to get together afterwards together. And we didn't have one on the weekend for the tournament we just had in Australia, and it was commented on. People were like, "Oh, there's no one going." This is like, it's and I was obviously planning those tournaments is a lot, and there was a lot of things that needed to get lined up, and the finding a venue that could take everyone wasn't feasible in the end. So I'm sure there's reasons for why it happened the way it did. But yeah, I was like, that's actually probably what it is like in other sports, to be honest.
That is it. I mean,
well done, everyone, and then see you later.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the issue, is finding a venue that can take people. Like one of the first things I did was book the after party venue for API this year, and then it wasn't until about 2 months ago I was like, man, I've booked a venue that can take 250 people. Where are the other 300 people going to go? I was like, so I've now booked three bars are booked right beside each other.
And I mean, you're right. It becomes logistically very difficult.
Yeah. More planning.
People are actually going to come. You think they will? They probably will, but God, who knows?
More planning's gone into the after party than the actual tournament, I reckon. Parties. Everyone rocks up and is like, "Where's what? You haven't got tape on the ground?" I'm like, "But we've got beers at the pub." Beers are cold. Yeah. Oh, funny. All right. If a rookie is listening that's coming to API, what would you say is your best tip for them?
That's a great question. My main tip would be to enjoy the experience. It's a rare experience. It's a rare opportunity. Again, I think people get caught up in the competitiveness and sometimes don't take that step back and just look around and go, wow, look at all of these people that are here to play dodgeball.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said before, learn what you can from the different ways of playing. Keep your eyes open to different ways of doing things and see what works best for you, because it's a really rare chance to get an example at a really high level of all the different types of styles of play. Yeah,
that's so true. So true. Right. If you could change one thing about API, what would that be?
Ooh, loaded question.
It is. If you answer this wrong, I'm going to just cut this and edit it out later on.
I would make it so that after 4 minutes, sets went to sudden death.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I actually am for that. I think it's worth trialing.
Yeah. So you're talking about the no blocking up to 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that for cloth, you should get more points for a full elimination than you do for a timeout.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The change that cloth should make. For foam, to be honest, ideally, and I will freely admit that this isn't feasible at the moment, but I think it should be ref's discretion on when a set is getting boring.
Yeah, 100%.
And when it gets boring, they go, "There's no more blocking."
Yeah.
If you
to be fair, if I was riffing, I'd be like, "Team's ready, left side ready, right side ready, no blocking."
You're going to get refs doing it very, very differently. But if there was a way to instill that into a rule that was, repeatable and people knew what was gonna, I think it would transform the game and make it would solve that problem that you have where very impressive defensive play is not very enjoyable to watch unless you have an appreciation for, how hard it is to do it.
Yeah.
And so, I see the reason why people do suggest things like time sets and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason I've decided to bring it in for this year was purely to give more people game time. Like, if you're traveling all over from America, Canada, England, wherever you're coming,
absolutely,
and because you've got to make the games only 20-minute games.
Yep,
you got to set it goes 8 minutes.
That's very true.
A one-on-one,
Yep. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a great point, actually. I remember I played in a league in Canada where if it's a one-on-one, it automatically goes to sudden death, which is also an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't. If you can have slow sets with a 1v2 or 1v3 as well. So.
Yeah. Right. Closing. Where can people expect to see you next?
Well, I'm coming to API, Auckland. No, wait, Christchurch.
Auckland, definitely Auckland. No. You can go to Auckland first if you want.
Dodgeball in New Zealand.
Yeah.
We played together, Simon, and won a medal.
We did. Yep.
Sorry, I couldn't make it this year.
That was the most I've been told off playing dodgeball, I think. Playing with you.
Yeah. I'll come back next year and you can tell me off. How's that?
Oh yeah. You're not drinking it beer quick enough.
Only fair. It's only fair. So yeah, I'll be in Auckland. I'll be in Christchurch. And then there's a few. I haven't set my travel plans, so I'm not sure. But I know there's the Asian Champs coming up this year.
Yep.
And then next year there'll be a World Champs. So not sure whether I'll be at both of them, one of them, none of them at this stage, but those are the two tournaments that I'd be looking to plan around next. And obviously, whenever the next API is, that one too, because I don't want to miss an API.
About 2 weeks, I think.
Excellent. Exciting.
Yep. We just got before the venue, the destination is organised. We just got to find an after party venue first before we.
Very important. Very important.
All right. You're making a Mount Rushmore for dodgeball players. Who's on it?
Oh, like that question. I will say at the start that I don't have a whole lot of exposure to European dodgeball. So I'm sure there are very important figures from the European dodgeball community that I will be missing. That's not because I don't think they should be there. It's just because I have not.
It's a very PC approach.
Thank you. Well, it's a whole part of the dodgeball, and it's now a very important part of the WDVF. But it's not something that I've had the opportunity to. I missed the Austrian World Champs last year before. But I would probably go back to the OG. I'd put Brian Lee there.
Yep.
I would put Josh and/or Jim.
a half face each.
Yep. I'd put you there, Simon.
And
I'd probably put Jake Mason from America.
Jake Mason. Fuck, Jake Mason. What a legend, eh?
Absolutely. The first, there's that Sin City Classic they do in Vegas every year, and the first time, I went and played in that, I was like, oh my god, it was the first time I played in a tournament with more than 100 teams, and 10 courts running concurrently, and it was just a logistical masterpiece.
Few spreadsheets going around, and that would have been before Tournify and stuff, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible the way he did it. There were so many things that we sort of picked up from there and said, yeah, this works. We should use that. All of the sets all of the match timings were done over audio, so everyone was working to the same timing. And if you started late, bad luck. all the refs had a sheet that sort of at the end of the match they would go. The captains would go to the refs, and the ref would say, "Your team is on this court next."
Oh yeah,
He's on this court next, right? So you could just sort of follow your directions from court to court. But that stuff all takes planning. That takes figuring it out and making sure everyone has what they need. It was so impressive.
Yeah. My wee Jack Mason story, it actually involves you. He was like, I met him in Queenstown, in Christchurch after the Queenstown Worlds, and we had a few beers with him and stuff.
Yeah.
And we went to LA to warm up for the week before Worlds in Vegas. And he's like, "Oh, cool, come on down. Devrim's going to be down here." And I was like, "Who's Devrim?" And he's like, "An Australian guy." I was like, "I don't want to hang out with an Australian." Like, fuck off. We're some Americans. We hate Australians. Like, joking. And he's just like, well, he goes, "No, if you don't want to come and hang out with Devrim, you New Zealanders can't come down." And he was like, "Serious?" And I was just like, what? that whole, when you assume people know you're taking the piss, but
they're very serious in America, aren't they? I was with Jake in a car once, and we didn't know where we were going, or we needed directions or something. And so he winds down his window, and he's just like, excuse me, sir. May I please hear the directions?" And I was like, wow, I get it in America, right? Because if you offend the wrong person, they'll shoot you. But I was like, in Australia, it'd be like, "Oi,
oi,
which way?" Excuse me. Yeah. But he was so polite. And I was like, oh yeah, it's a very different culture sometimes.
Yeah. Funny. Right. Who do you think we should get on the podcast?
Des Onwamere.
Who?
Desmond Onwamere.
Oh, Desmond. Sorry.
Big Des.
Big Des. Yeah. I think we're hard to say we can keep it away, wouldn't it?
We have the same physique.
Yeah. Same physique in the pants.
Well, I think you'd be lucky to get Des because he's a naturally quiet person.
Yeah. Let's make it a target to get him on. Even if I'll sit beside him and just interview him and just like do the old mic to the face. And then we'll put his hoodie over and just go to sleep. Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon Jimmy might do well, James Heron. Or Xander. Have you had Xander?
Yeah, Xander's on the card. So Sophie's a big Xander fangirl, along with most of the American guys and stuff. Yeah. So yeah,
she's
on his. He is on her wish list.
Or Hashimoto, maybe. I've seen some of his videos.
Yeah. I'm quite keen to get Ketchum on board.
Yeah, he's got a kick out.
Yeah. So
congratulations, Ketchum, if you're listening. Is he coming? Is he coming to?
Yeah. Met him on the same cloth team.
He promised me he'd play with me, and then he refused to respond to any of my messages asking him to commit to my team. So
yeah, that'll be after the game's finished, wouldn't it? You got to play.
That's all right. He can play.
I'm looking forward to getting the first ever API yellow card for giving your teammate shit. So we go like small goals.
Has anyone been an API yet?
Yeah. Right. We're going to move into some players' questions.
Oh, yeah,
this is from Sophie. What is it about reffing that is the best part?
Wow. There's not a lot that's great about reffing, I'll be honest. The best thing about it is probably that you get the front row seat.
Best thing I like about it. Yeah.
What's going on. But on the other hand, you got to be on it, because there's nothing worse than zoning out for half a second and then looking at the whole court is looking at you like, "We got a catch," and you're like, yeah.
I can tell everyone now. This one thing we're looking at doing for API Finals Day is, with obviously for each final having the 6 refs and stuff. Anytime they come in, we're going to get a camera and a microphone and get them in there. But it's going to be like, you can just kind of imagine we just listen to them.
You can mic me up. I'll ref. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's, the rest will do the best they can.
100%. Yeah.
You can't, the higher the level in particular, the less you can play without them. So they won't get everything right. if they're doing the best they can, and if they're being impartial, then that's kind of all you can ask for. Unless I'm playing and the ref is being bad, in which case,
To be honest, watching you ref was quite surprising because I'm normally sitting on the sideline just giving abuse and banter and all this stuff. But you put your ref's hat on, you can be quite serious.
I have a theory that they make me ref because they don't want me watching. They're like, he's going to be a goddamn nightmare if he's on the sidelines. Just make him ref it so that we can have a smooth game. And, we played.
So this is some Flippy as well. What are some things you'd like to see for dodgeball in the future?
Things for the future. I would like to see it keep growing. I'd like to see it get recognized as a sport as in as many countries as it can.
Yep.
I know a lot of people are keen on Olympic recognition. And it would be amazing to have dodgeball in the Olympics, but I think a better goal is to have dodgeball, being a sustainable, economically feasible sport that sells a product, dodgeball, high quality dodgeball matches that people want to watch, and that can generate the money it needs to keep the sport being developed. If it can do that, that'd be everything I'd want for it, because that would be amazing. And that's continually moving in the right direction. Lots of great people doing lots of hard work to keep it growing, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's quite funny how you go from that player, like when we started playing and stuff, pretty much the exact same time. There's no one above us. There's no one leading the way. So it's
exactly
it's pretty cool that we are sort of
going around in the dark.
Yeah, man. And I was even saying to Nick Fargo, this playing wise, we never had any coaches. Like we were stoked when we were told about counting for players from left to right. We're like,
yeah.
We've been playing for 3 years and we didn't realize that you're gonna, So it's like a mind blowing.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, this is from Yu Chai Choi Oro Wyvern. I that's the guy from Singapore. I'm reading his Instagram page name.
Yep.
Who do you expect will win this year, and who are the favourites among those who you're aware of?
That's a good question.
You probably don't know the teams, so you can't really say.
I don't actually know the teams that have all registered. I think one of the things I like about API is that lots of teams just get put together.
Yeah.
For API, and it's not a this club, that club, they always play together and they're going to come and win this tournament. It's which random mismatch of international players decided that it'd be fun to play together. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it works amazingly, sometimes it really doesn't work at all, and sometimes this unexpected team comes out of nowhere and you're like, holy shit.
The only thing I think we need to put a rule in it is you can't be like the Sunshine Beer team and call yourself Vietnam and have World Dodgeball contacting me to see who the Vietnamese dodgeball team is, and then me get all excited we've got an easy game. Getting absolutely smoked. That was false.
Yeah, that sounds like the good old Bears. They are my favorite club.
Right.
I think the Immortals from New South Wales will be hard to beat in mixed.
Oh yeah. You don't reckon the old Demons can go 3 years in a row in the mixed?
Oh, they absolutely might, for sure. They're always an incredibly strong team. But we've had it was basically the Immortals that won the mixed on the weekend, the Australian champs.
Oh yeah.
They won it at the last year's ADC as well. They've got very good chemistry. They work really well together. And for API, I believe Sonny is playing with them, not playing with the Victorian team. So,
bit of change.
Well, look, there's lots of great clubs, even from Australia, that could win it. And then you've got all of the international teams. So I'm absolutely not going to make a prediction here because I definitely don't know enough about it to know. And that's one of the things I love about API. You got no idea what's going to happen, and it's so good.
And I'm saying this purely in a banter way, and because I want to see another video afterwards. I hope Shody gets silver again. Because that was like his video afterwards is sitting at the beer and he goes, why did I throw up? That's my highlight video. Favorite dodgeball video. Yeah. Right. How does it feel to have the best ass in dodgeball?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of competition out there. Lots of good asses around. And I encourage everyone
Do you have a good ass?
to keep getting good asses. It's great. Good for everyone.
Yeah. I think Nick Farger's got the best ass in New Zealand.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Right. The rule book states that you must buy Devrim a drink. Thoughts?
Oh, I think that'd be a lot of drinks. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to keep up with that. But I appreciate your thought.
Funny. Right. Rapid fire round. Right. You survived the stories and the banter, but now it's time for the real test. The rapid fire round. Quick questions, quick answers, no dodging allowed. Ready? Let's go. Favorite person to get out?
Oh, favorite person to get Nico.
Nico, yeah. Catch or a hit? What feels better?
Catch, for sure.
Catch? A pre-called catch.
Yeah, pre-call catch. Pre-throw catch, that's the best one.
What's that, sorry?
The pre-throw catch, that's the best one.
Yeah. The worst bruise you've ever had?
Worst bruise? Oh, it's probably on my knees from forgetting that I wasn't wearing knee pads. And when I dropped it down, it's pretty heavy. That's why I don't do it much.
Yeah. This is a hard one. I don't know what you're going to say. Beer or fizzy?
What?
Beer or fizzy? Like fizzy pop, lemonade, Coca-Cola.
And what's the first one? Beer.
Would you like a beer? Would you rather a beer or fizzy?
Beer.
Cool.
Beer, sure.
I would like to know these are just chat GPT questions, so it's not me to run them. Most likely teammate to forget their shoes?
I don't know if anyone's forgotten their shoes. I'm gonna say Alex Young, because the last time I gave her a lift to dodgeball, she triple checked if she had her shoes in her bag, which suggests to me that she's forgotten her shoes. I'm purely guessing here.
Funny, she gave us a ride home after the first day. That was the weekend.
Yep.
So we're packing a 7-seater, and she's like, gets to the first big intersection, and she's like, "Do you guys know about hook turns?" And we're like, "Oh, kind of." She's like, "Oh," and just fully talking about them. She's like, "It's way safer because you pull to the side of the road, and then when you should turn, you go."
Big fan of hook turns.
Yeah, so she just next thing you know, it was green light ready to go. She would drive through, and two cars came to a red light, just about smashed into her. It's like it's just talked about today. It's like not her fault at all, but yeah, it's pretty scary.
Jeez.
Who's the fastest thrower you've ever faced?
There are some fast ones. I probably catch him.
Get him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, catch him.
Best excuse you've used for missing a catch?
Well, I've got a hierarchy here. First of all, it's the ref's fault. Then it's the ball's fault.
Yeah.
Then it's my teammate's fault. And then I'll take some responsibility. If I can't do any of the above, I'll then take responsibility. You
got to add the sun was in your eyes.
But, yeah, of course. Good one. Actually, and the wind.
Yeah, the wind, yeah. Yeah. Which court position is your happy place? Wing, inside, or middle?
Middle.
Middle? Yeah.
Middle.
Fastest recorded throw you have thrown?
Oh, I don't think it's that fast. Maybe 105, 110 kilometers an hour.
Show off.
That's probably with a run up downhill on a bicycle.
The tailwind.
It's back when I threw harder than I do now. That's for sure.
Yeah. If dodgeball, I've done that one already. One word. You can use two. I don't care to describe your dodgeball style.
Belligerent.
Belligerent. Grumpy old goat. If you could swap places with any player for one game, what would it be?
As in, like, play as them.
Again?
Is that what you mean? Like, play as them?
Yeah. If you could. Yeah. Again, it's just chat GPT. I haven't put thought into it.
That's a cool question. Who do I want to play as? I'll go Nick Farger. I want to do the windmill, see how it feels.
The windmill? Oh, the old windmill. That's what he's known for.
Plus, it'll make the trash talk better afterwards. And I'm like, no, I know how you feel.
That's actually easy. What are you on about? Yeah.
And the first thing I do is obviously open the pants and have a look, just see what it's. Where's the rest of it?
If that was the only condition, I'd swap places with Desmond.
Yeah, actually, this would be a good one, just to feel what proper throwing mechanics feel like.
Yeah. I'd probably swap place with any 21-year-old just so I can actually
run around. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
My knees don't hurt. Yeah, that's a thing.
All right. Getting near the end. If API had a mascot, what would it be?
I think you would be the mascot, Simon.
I was thinking more of a straight beer, a pint.
A bottle of Jaeger.
Yeah, Jaeger bombs. Yeah. Finally, you said you're going to be at API, but what team?
I'm playing on a team called.
Yep. What does it stand for?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on the podcast.
We this would be a good test for Sophie. If it's too offensive, she'll just do the meep.
I think it'd be funnier if you do beep it. It sounds for.
In my head, I was like trying to work out how can it be offensive, those letters, but no.
Well, everyone assumed when I suggested the name that it was.
That sounds too PC for you.
But then they've overruled me on the jersey. I wanted the jersey to be trains and like all that sort of shit, and they've completely overruled me and changed it. So
who's on your team?
You win some, you lose some. Sean Excel, Julian Wong, James Morris, some guys from America. Who's in the chat? Jake Smith, Joe Martinez.
Oh yeah, I'm on one of his teams.
Nice. Sounds like a good guy. Ryan DeMello. Well, these are people in the chat. Look, to be honest, Sean put the team together. Sean's done all the work. So yeah. I don't know if people are in the chat are actually in or if they're. But it should be lots of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm happy just playing one division this year because 2's a lot of dodgeball.
Yeah, it is. Right.
But if anyone needs someone in mix to stand on the side and hurl abuse, let me know. I'm available.
I've just had late to the piece before I was about to close it off, but Nick Varga sent some questions through for you.
Wow. Okay. Here we go.
Yep.
You get home safe, by the way?
Yeah, we got home safe. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, that's good. Ready? Top 3 dodgeballers to have a beer with? I
love that question. I'm gonna say Nico because I said I wanted to get him out the most, and that is a bit mean. But it's more just because he's so good. But he's also good to have a beer with.
Yeah.
Now, my second person would be anyone from the Bears because they're awesome and they know how to have a good beer. And then the third would probably be one of the New Zealand players.
Yes.
You're all pretty good value. You're all pretty good value.
We're all good boys. Yeah.
Mainly you, Nick, and the mullet guy.
Sam Bergen.
But there are lots of good people to have beers with in the dodgeball community. That's why I like the community. So
it's quite funny on after the tournament on Sunday we had a bottle of gin was there. I put it in front of him. I was like, this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Have a quick sip. And he's like, gave it to me. He's like, nah, I don't want something. I was like, so the first thing I said was like, the best thing I love about you, Zambergen, is you can't handle peer pressure. And just and he's like, fuck's sake, you're right. Just here. Yep. No, he's good value. Yep. That's sweet. Who's the best player to heckle?
Well, I think Ketchum's up there just because you get a rise out of him.
Oh, funny. Right. What's the best insult you've ever delivered?
Oh.
I reckon you'd almost, between me and you, if we wrote all our insults down, we'd almost have a book.
It'll be a good book too.
Yeah. If you haven't been insulted by me or Dev, you're missing out in life.
That's right. It means we don't like you.
Yeah. Or I'm scared of you.
Yeah. Well, what's it? There have been some phenomenal insults. I created a chant for the Orcas, and it goes, "If you're an orca and you block, use your hands. If you're an orca and you block, use your hands. If you're an orca and you're blocking and you really want to stay, and you're an orca and you're blocking, use your hands." Which I'm pretty proud of.
That's original. It's came like with tune. I've never heard that tune before. It's original.
It's to the tune of "If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands."
Right. Last question. Who's the most handsome dodgeballer?
Nick Farger.
Handsome. Sorry, I said handsome.
Oh, handsome. Sorry.
Not uses his hands on himself. Yeah.
Joel Garrett.
Agree.
Joel Garrett. Yep. Lovely man.
Yeah, agree. He's a good-looking man. I think I had a singlet, sort of a shirt swap with him.
Nice.
That's the Melbourne Dodgeball one.
Oh, hell yeah!
It had like
OG
guns on the back or something.
They were good jerseys. That's awesome.
Yeah, good for someone his size, not good for someone size.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, that's the worst part about being you do the shirt swaps with people and
that was hilarious, especially in Malaysia. I was the same. Like, anyone want to swap jerseys, and they're like, no. I was like,
yeah. There's about 3% of dodgeballers that are the same size as me. Yeah, it's like Nick Kirkwood, who's a New Zealander.
Yep.
He always gets like 5 shirts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you get 5 shirts, bro? There's only about 2 people the whole same size as you. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap on episode 2. A massive shout out to Dev for jumping on here and telling us a bit about himself and his API journey and dodgeball journey so far. API is a tournament on everyone's bucket list, and trust me, we're only getting warmed up. This is the API podcast, and we are out.